Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much to my subscribers. I finally reached 50 subscribers, so whether you've been following me since the beginning or you just joined, I appreciate you greatly. Second of all, it's now sweater weather and I am absolutely stoked about it. Today I wanted to talk about a movie called Dune. The Dune universe is contained in a book series written by Frank Herbert, and it has been adapted to screen before, but now we see it brought back to the screen again in 2021. This version of Dune is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who has done a lot of things that I've heard of, like Prisoners, Sicario, Enemy, Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, so he knows his way around movies, and he knows his way around movies good. Accompanied by an amazing cast, he attempts to bring Dune to the screen like we've never seen before. So Dune follows the story of Paul Atreides, of House Atreides, as he grows to become a man and understand more about himself, where he came from, and what it would potentially mean to take over House Atreides from his father Leto, played by Oscar Isaac. The movie starts by Leto signing over the Atreides home planet to the Emperor and being moved to a different planet by order of the Emperor. And this move is like a change from Naboo to Tatooine. It's this lush, rich forest moving to sand. Leto sees this as a move to be able to make an alliance with the Fremen, who are the native people of this planet, and also rising in power because with all the sand that's on this planet mixed in is spice, and spice is crucial to everything that goes on in the world of Dune. Mixed into all of this is warring between the houses, there's betrayal, there's conspiracy, there's prophecies, so it becomes this really interesting story as it's fleshed out on screen. Going into this film, I had no idea about the Dune universe, and so I wanted to check it out. There's some really awesome dynamics in this movie, but there also were a couple things that made me hesitant to want to fully commit myself to the universe of Dune. But we'll get into that. So without further ado, let's get into 6 things that make a movie great. 1. The plot. The plot of this movie is driven by the fact that there are many who believe that Paul is the one. Not Neo the one, but the one. The one is an interesting prophecy based from the Bene Gesserit. I compared them to the Adjustment Bureau, but they're people who are able to use what is known as the voice. And the voice is basically forced mind trick, which basically allows you to compel people to do what you ask them to do. The one is someone who's supposed to bring about change and also is trained in the ways of the voice. So the plot is driven by Paul learning these things about himself and kind of growing into that. He's being trained to become this lethal leader of the House Atreides, which is a coveted after house because they have a lot of power among the other houses. Paul also has these visions of the future, and sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not. And so he fears what might be coming if he is truly the one. In addition to this, there is opposition that comes from Baron Harkonnen, as they hate House Atreides and they want to wipe them out. The only issue I had with the plot is that it kind of reaches its climax at a moment that I thought was not very well done, but I think this movie would have benefited from a prequel, and it would have built up some of the tension between the houses and built up this moment to where this happens. So while the plot is not complex in and of itself, it fits the movie's speed and it does a great job. So I have to give a thumbs up to plot. 2. Family friendliness. This movie actually is relatively family friendly. There is some action, there's some violence, but it's all toned down so that the demographic for this film can be vastly expanded. So this movie is family friendly. Thumbs up. 3. Acting and script. The acting in this movie is incredible. This movie is produced, directed, and acted like a top tier film. Everyone is on their A game. Not a single person felt out of character or pulled you out of movie. It all was just incredible. The script itself, I think they did a good job with it, but this movie has pacing issues. That was my biggest gripe with this movie. The acting is huge thumbs up. The script is really well done in that the storytelling that you receive is top notch. Like, it's just it is a very, very slow movie. And that doesn't mean that it's not good. It just means that if you're looking for an action adventure movie, this isn't it. Some of the best performances, in my opinion, were Baron Harkonnen, Duncan Idaho, and Lady Jessica. All 3 of them stole the show. Paul Atreides is good in his own right. I was more interested in the dynamic of Lady Jessica and where she comes from and the group of the Bene Gesserit, but there's so much to this universe and I look forward to more. So acting and script get a thumbs up. 4 is character development. Now the plus side of having a very slow movie is that you get insane character development. The interactions in this movie are absolutely incredible. The very subtle sign language that Lady Jessica and Paul Atreides have and Lady Jessica has with her servants, to the dynamic of the voice and the father-son relationship, and on every single level you're developing these characters so that you understand them more and are enjoying them more. For some reason, when I started watching this movie and heard Josh Brolin's voice, I couldn't not see Thanos, so that messed up my mind a little bit. I don't think that there was a single person that was lacking in development, except for, of course, Zendaya, who's barely in this movie. All in all, character development gets a huge thumbs up. Number 5 is CG. The visuals in this movie are absolutely incredible. The CG they use, it's very realistic, it's very believable, and it's awesome. This movie is beautifully shot and it has the potential to belong in with those top tier franchises. It just has to get to part 2. So CG gets a huge thumbs up as well. 6 is rewatchability. This is the one where I kind of get hung up on. This movie is very slow. When I got to the end of the film, first of all, the film cuts off pretty abruptly and that's the end of part 1. But you get to the end of the film and you're like, did I miss a prequel? Where this movie starts and ends would have been fantastic if there was a prequel. And I did a little research, so I know that there was a trilogy of prequels written leading up to the events of Dune. I feel like maybe they should have made the prequel. Maybe Dune would have benefited by being a trilogy so that you can see the wars being waged between these houses and the building animosity and the plotting against one another. And then you get to Dune where you see some of that play out and you understand the dynamics. And then you get to part 3, whatever that's going to look like. And the part where that bugs me is that what Dune part 2 is going to have to do is justify Dune Part 1. The only reason why I would go back and watch this movie again, to watch it because it comes before Dune Part 2, especially with a runtime of 2.5 hours. Don't get me wrong, this movie is incredible, but the rewatchability I have to give a thumbs down to. All in all, because of how incredible this movie was, I have to give Dune an 8.5 out of 10. This movie was amazing, it has an incredible cast, great director. I'm super excited for when part 2 comes out to see what that looks like and just where they go with it. Will they make a prequel? Will they build upon this universe? Will this become the next great franchise like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter? Or will it just end with Dune 1 and Dune 2? And with all that, I would recommend watching Dune on Friday or Saturday night, whether it be on HBO Max in the comfort of your own home or going out and seeing it in movie theaters. Thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you for the 50 subscribers. That's a huge deal to me, and I look forward to making more videos for you guys and gals as we move along. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one.